What if every time you picked up your phone, you are actually choosing between two ancient forces? One whispers safety, control, certainty, the other truth, freedom, love. And now, in the age of artificial intelligence, that choice is louder than ever.
Okay, hold on. Are we talking code versus Cupid here? Because I thought this episode was about AI, not a cosmic breakup.
Oh, it is about AI, but beneath the layers of algorithms, automation, and optimization, what's really happening is a test, a spiritual one. Do we move forward ruled by fear, or do we finally step into something higher?
All right, I'm in. But I've got questions like, how exactly is AI connected to fear? And is love just some poetic metaphor, or are we talking literal transformation here?
We'll get into all of it. Today, we're diving into 4 powerful truths about how artificial intelligence is challenging and maybe even accelerating a global shift in human consciousness. And trust me, the third one might flip the way you see technology and yourself.
And if you're listening to this wondering, okay, but what does this have to do with me? Just know you are choosing between fear and love every single day, whether you realize it or not.
So stay with us. By the end of this episode, you won't just see AI differently. You might just remember who you were before the machine showed up.
And hey, if you feel a little spark already, hit that follow or subscribe button, because things are about to get weird, wise, and wonderfully human.
All right, let's talk about the dark side. Not lightsabers, just algorithms. Here's the thing, AI is not just on your phone or in your browser. It's in your fridge, your car, your Netflix queue. It's everywhere. And most of the time, you don't even notice it.
Which is exactly how fear works. Silent, ubiquitous, comfortable. Until one day, it's making your decisions for you. Not because it hacked your system, but because you stopped listening to your own voice.
Let's get concrete. AI is incredibly efficient at replacing repetitive jobs. Fast food workers, truck drivers, even coders. Yeah, coders. Some experts say this is going to be more disruptive than anything in the last 50 years.
And yet, the real danger isn't job loss. It's soul loss. Because in this rush to optimize everything, we start forgetting the value of the messy, the human, the inefficient.
Like a friend who shows up late but brings you flowers. AI would have deleted that friend. Too inconsistent, low productivity.
Exactly. But love, real connection, that's never efficient. And that's what AI, by design, can't fully understand. Just like the sorcerer's apprentice. He had the power, but not the wisdom. And what happened? Chaos.
Yeah, and modern AI is a very smart apprentice that doesn't know when to stop. Give it one goal and it'll go full throttle, but it won't ask, is this good for people? It just does what it's told. No soul, no context.
That's the echo chamber, the illusion of control, where people start trusting the system so much they switch off their own inner compass, their own intuition.
Which brings us to you, dear listener. Ever felt like you're living on autopilot, like your feed knows what you want before you do? That's not magic, that's algorithmic hypnosis.
And it's seductive, because fear likes order. Fear loves control. Fear whispers, let the machine think for you. But love says, come back. You are not a machine. You are not your metrics.
So, question of the day. Have you ever felt more connected to your phone than to yourself? Drop in the comments if you're ready to wake up from that trance.
Let me ask you something. What if love isn't a feeling? What if it's a frequency? The original tech, older than code, stronger than data, and this might sound wild, the only thing AI can never replicate.
So you're saying love is what, Wi-Fi for the soul?
Exactly. Only this signal doesn't need charging, it doesn't lag, and it's never transactional. You don't earn it, you remember it.
All right, I'll bite. But how is unconditional love supposed to help us deal with AI taking over our jobs, our feeds, and our relationships?
Because fear makes you forget who you are. Love reminds you. See, the real revolution isn't digital, it's spiritual. It's about waking up to the truth that you are the original algorithm. Messy, mysterious, emotional, and divine.
So basically, we were the advanced technology all along?
Yes! And love is your operating system. It doesn't optimize for efficiency, it optimizes for connection. And that connection is what gives meaning to everything else.
All right, but let's make this real for people. What does unconditional love even look like in practice?
It looks like not ghosting someone because they didn't text back fast enough. It's forgiving before you're asked. It's choosing presence over perfection. And most importantly, it's refusing to treat yourself like a machine.
Whew, okay. So love isn't just the fluffy opposite of fear. It's a kind of power, a tool. And if we don't learn to use it consciously, we leave that space open for algorithms to decide for us.
Exactly. And here's the twist. The more you embody love, the less control fear has over you. And that's the ultimate firewall. Not a software update, but a soul update.
All right, so let's ask our listeners. Have you ever felt a moment of pure love that changed the way you saw the world? Not romance, real soul-level connection. If so, share it, because that's the kind of story that needs to override the algorithm.
Let's be honest. Intuition has a bad rep. People think it's just vibes, goosebumps, that gut feeling you get after eating sushi from a gas station.
Or when your soul goes, hey, don't swipe right, but you do it anyway. And suddenly you're 3 dates in, meeting their cat and questioning all your life choices.
Okay, jokes aside, what is intuition really? And why does it matter now in the age of AI?
Because intuition is ancient tech. It's not emotional guesswork. It's compressed experience filtered through the soul. The stuff you can't Google. The knowing that arrives before your brain kicks in.
So it's like a spiritual algorithm, trained on your entire life, dreams, emotions, pain, and weird childhood memories?
Exactly. And unlike AI, which can only read patterns from the past, intuition can sense what's unfolding ahead. It's quantum. It jumps timelines. It whispers truths the data hasn't caught up to yet.
All right, but why can't AI develop intuition? I mean, it learns from data, it adapts.
Yes, but it doesn't feel. It doesn't have presence. It doesn't dream. It can't stand in front of a sunset, feel tears welling up, and suddenly remember its grandmother's laugh. Intuition is born in moments of stillness, in paradox. It knows without having to explain. That's why it's sacred.
But in a world obsessed with optimization and speed, people don't trust their intuition anymore.
That's the real danger. Because when you ignore your inner GPS, you start outsourcing everything, from your choices to your identity. And suddenly, your soul is sitting in the backseat while the algorithm drives.
So let's open this up. To everyone listening, when was the last time you trusted your intuition, even when logic said don't? Was it a job, a relationship, a moment that changed everything? Drop that story in the comments. Let's remind each other that our inner technology is alive and powerful.
And if you've never done it before, maybe this episode is your soul's subtle nudge, the kind that says, hey, wake up. The real you is still in there. All right, time to go full cosmic. If your brain's still online after the last segment, buckle up, because we're about to talk about the original technology, the one not built in Silicon Valley, but forged in something far older.
Let me guess.
The soul?
Boom! Bingo! Exactly. Not a chip, not a server, but a living interface with the universe. Your soul is not a poetic concept. It's a blueprint, a divine operating system that can't be hacked, copied, or deleted.
Okay, but hold up. You're saying our souls are more powerful than all the artificial intelligence in the world?
Absolutely. AI learns. The soul remembers. AI processes. The soul perceives. AI needs inputs. The soul creates. And here's the twist. The soul doesn't run on electricity. It runs on truth.
Truth like moral truth, emotional truth.
All of it. Truth as in, I remember who I am. Truth as in, I don't need to be optimized. I'm already whole. Your soul doesn't calculate your worth based on performance. It knows you're worthy because you exist.
Damn. That's powerful. And a little terrifying. Because if that's true, then outsourcing our decisions to AI isn't just lazy. It's spiritual amnesia.
Exactly. That's why Darius J. Wright says, you are the ultimate technology. The soul is the dictator of all things. Not because it controls, but because it connects.
All right, let's get real again. To our listeners, have you ever felt that deep down knowing that couldn't be explained? Like the universe whispered something only you could hear. That's not a glitch in the matrix. That's your soul speaking. And it might just be the most advanced guidance system in existence.
So, if AI is the tool, then the soul is the architect. And our job? To remember. Not to compete with machines, but to reclaim the divine design that was always ours.
So, after all that, what now? We've talked about AI, intuition, fear, truth, algorithms, and souls. Feels like we just did spiritual calculus.
Yeah, and the final equation? Fear leads to control. Love leads to creation. In this age of accelerating AI, you only get one real choice. Will you outsource your reality to code or reclaim your soul as the mainframe?
That's the core, isn't it? Not what AI will become, but who we become in response to it.
Exactly. And love isn't some soft emotion in the background. It's the most powerful frequency in the system. It's what reboots intuition, reconnects people, and writes new code for this planet.
Okay, moment of truth for our listeners. If you had to choose one word to describe this episode, what would it be?
Drop that word in the comments. Seriously, one word, just one, that feels like the energy of this conversation to you.
And if you're still here, you're not just watching a video. You're building a new mental model for what it means to be human in the algorithmic age.
So here's your invitation. If this episode activated something inside you, a memory, a whisper, a question, share it. Don't let it dissolve in the feed, because your voice might be the algorithm breaker someone else needs to hear today.
And don't forget, there are 2 more videos right here on your screen. One will take you deeper into the soul's role in AI. The other explores Darius J. Wright's take on multidimensional intuition. Both are connected to this episode, but one of them will completely shift how you see yourself. You'll know which one. Trust your gut.
Subscribe if you haven't, not just for content, but to build a space where soul-led technology is the norm, not the exception.
Until next time, stay curious, stay human, and above all, stay infinite.